What's going on, guys? How are you? What's up? I try to do a little video one-on-one like I like to do since I have a lot of time in the car. Rocking out my baby blue with orange today. You know, I always like to mix and match a lot of different colors. Be a little bit, daring to try to keep that, young blood flow going through me. So yeah, about this video is going to be big shout outs to the community first and foremost. Had a lot of fun last night at the Direct X. We had Showstopper stop by. Big shout outs to him. We were just kicking it. Felt really old school style, like the old shows and the way the community was back in the beginning. When it first started. As far as the Xbox side, right? Obviously. So guys, I'm gonna do a quick video and give my thoughts on Fortnite and the supposed rumor on with the PSN being able to change your name, and if you do, supposedly, that you will lose everything on that account, which I'll get into when I talk about it. So I'm gonna get right to it, guys. My reasoning for wanting to do the Fortnite video and my thoughts on the paywall, it really because I just keep hearing a lot of negative complaining from the side of the Xbox community, which in reality, I understand and I get it, but at the same time I feel like we complain too much about what we don't have, but don't talk enough about what we do have. And it kind of is putting us in that same bracket as PlayStation dudes, but backwards. Because PlayStation guys, the hardcore especially, they get less and just be patient and say, okay, it's cool, it's all right, well, they'll take care of it, don't worry. Then they'll get shit at the end of the road and they'll still praise it and say it's all right. I mean, it has to be for a reason, or maybe it's because they can't do it, or it's too hard, or it doesn't make sense, and things like that, and it's different types of excuses and damage controlling it, which was really what people call it. But I don't call it damage control if they give a sensible idea and thought about what they think and really give a good description of their argument, because sometimes, it could make sense. And I hope this is what I portray with my thoughts here with the whole scenario with Fortnite and being free to play, because I know that it's a game that is being played free on PC, which obviously there's not an ecosystem for PC. It's open source, so you can't really control that. Then on Nintendo, you can play the game free, but at the same time, they don't really have a robust online. They're just starting, so they need to kind of build it up. Plus, to play, let's say, cross-play on the game, right? With that and Rocket League, if I'm not mistaken, you need an Xbox account to do so. And if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments, or at least point me in the direction where it shows me otherwise. And with PlayStation, they're not letting you cross-play. They're telling you no, you can't take it with you. So you're just basically stuck under their brand and their moniker, and that's it. So for them to give it to you free, they really don't have anything to lose, because they're not offering you the crossplay or any other option. Now, I'm not saying that if Microsoft can give it out for free, that they shouldn't, because if that's the case and they're not really losing anything, then by all means, it should be done. I want to get that very clear and out of the way first and foremost. But My but comes from the idea that I have a feeling that this is a little deeper than we may know, for the fact that that game Warframe also did the same thing, where you can play a free single player, but not online with your friends and your comrades, but you were able to do it on PS4, although it did launch first on PS4. So again, it came out at a time where there was no games on PlayStation, and there were mainly a lot more indie stuff that they relied on, and putting it free to play was the thing to probably make the most sense to join more audience and more people to play it. Because it was in its infancy. It just came out, it was new and fresh. And those guys really haven't had success with their games. They were the guys who developed a game called Dark Sector on 360, which was a really excellent game. Probably really underrated because it was early in the generation, but a very good game to go back to and try out, especially if it ever goes back in backwards compat, in the program. So I have a feeling that there might be some type of exclusivity that may be playing a play here, where PlayStation don't care because if Nintendo has it free, let's say, or PC obviously, because it doesn't really harm them in any way with PC, but at least with Nintendo, because they're just starting, they don't have a real online infrastructure, but Microsoft does have a strong online infrastructure, so they're probably thinking, leave it exclusive to us, over there you have to charge in order for you to play it online. Or it could be maybe the way the infrastructure for Xbox online games is designed, that it wasn't designed where you can play it for free and you had to pay for the online service, because that's not the only thing that's under it. You get a lot of other things with the online, or with the paying. You get things like discounts. Obviously, you still get discounts with silver, but you get predominantly better and stronger discounts that really make a big difference. And the security, obviously, you don't have the fear of your equipment getting hacked, or your account or your games getting stolen, or losing them for that matter. And things like that. So all those things, plus the free games online, and you get monthly, you get 4, but 2 you keep permanently, with or without gold, which is the 360 stuff, which you don't get on, obviously on the PlayStation side. So I have, it's just a feeling, because it just doesn't really make sense to me with all the good things that Microsoft has done and is giving us for free, or practically for free, or at a very low cost, that this wouldn't make any sense to have for free if it's a free to play. That's why I said that I have a funny suspicion that there's a little more going on behind closed doors than we, the gamer and the community, actually knows. And again, maybe there isn't. I'm not out to rule out the possibility that there is. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to speak a little bit more logical, with some comprehension, thinking like an adult, as a business person, and not just jumping the gun, like a lot of people like and tend to do. Because at the end of the day, we're all gamers and we want what's best for gaming. But to be honest, my question to you guys that are watching, the viewers, this later on your time, is, can we really compare what Microsoft is giving us to what Sony doesn't give us? If that makes sense to you guys, I mean, we had a console that's really powerful. Not just saying that it's more powerful. It is more powerful in every way, shape, or form. We get things like backwards compatibility on there for free with all
here?
360 games. And we're getting enhanced 4K games on 360 through backwards compatibility for free. We're also getting OG Xbox games for free with enhanced 4K. Okay, we're getting a console that really is strong and powerful, almost to the same equal quality of a PC, but of our high quality rig, but at a fraction of a cost. With 4K gaming and textures and loading and elimination of screen tearing, draw distance, 4K textures, and Dolby Atmos surround sound, faster loading, if I didn't say it already, and with much more room for better quality graphics and detail as a whole, not just in the cutscenes like PlayStation games tend to do. And then everywhere else, there's a lot of indiscrepancies that really don't match up and make any sense. So, then we also get the 4K player included, and all this we're getting for just $100 more. On top of that, we have cloud saving, which is not under a paywall, but on PlayStation it is. So you have to have an extra hard drive. If not, can't save it all. You have to start from scratch. When I bought and upgraded my Pro to a Pro from my Slim, I had to lose everything and start all over from scratch because I didn't know that. The same way that with SharePlay, even though it's a cool feature, one of the parties have to have PlayStation Plus in order to utilize it. And if you want to get the full benefits so that you both can play and share it, unlimited or for whatever amount of time the games let you do it that are chosen, the games that allow it, you both need PlayStation Plus. But a lot of people don't like to point that out. And yes, you can do party chats up to 8 people with no gold or no PlayStation Plus on PS4, but it's really not of the greatest quality, and you need a proprietary headphone, because without that headphone you're only going to hear it from one ear. And I've used my Turtle Beaches, I used my Polk Audios, I've even used my son's Beats to just listen in, and they won't work. It just does not work. You need to have anything that's Sony brand or that's Bluetooth with Sony's technology of Bluetooth, which are not a lot, but the ones that are pretty expensive and pricey. So those are one of the things that people don't like to explain. It is free, but it's not as the same quality as Xbox, where you get 16 players at the same at the same time to talk with. Yes, it's under the paywall, but you can use even a headphones from or a mic with a headphone from, let's say, a $5 store or a dollar store, and you'll hear it from both ears, and the mic will work fine. It doesn't have that kind of restriction where you just got to buy top quality brand or name brand in order for it to work correctly. And I get that. So it's like a give or take in my point of view from how I see it. Yes, we got ours under a paywall, but we get a lot more freedom and better quality because it's under that paywall. It's not cheaply implemented, so to speak, right? And it's not a fallacy, it's the truth. So, and if people haven't talked about it, well, I will, because I own a PlayStation 4. And I don't have a problem doing that. Because as an Xbox dude, I know a lot of people like to talk negative quickly about anything Xbox, but hesitate about talking anything negative about PlayStation, even though it may be the truth. And I feel that shouldn't be. Xbox dudes shouldn't add more fuel to the fire if they already have enough places, like the medias and the bias from the media and the haters and the trolls and the PlayStation 4 extremists that already do the damage and hurt by adding more fuel to the fire. So me, personally, I don't think as Xbox guys, we should partake and participate in that. Should we criticize and critique for better stuff when it's done wrong? Absolutely. But we need to do it in a professional, an adult, and respectful manner. Not with ignorance and just blabbing things out and making assumptions and yelling out loud, hey, listen, this is this, this is that, without thinking, in other words, is what I'm saying. Because we don't work at Microsoft or at PlayStation. None of us do. And that's a fact. So because of this, I feel strongly that we shouldn't just assume. That's why I don't like making just any video about anything I hear, unless it's 100% by the source. And it works in my favor most of the time, thank God. But that's why I do it. And that's why I have those practices, which you guys probably don't like because it's the truth. And you rather hear the bullshit because you like drama and you like all that gay back and forth between old men that act like childish little kids, which it shouldn't be. But you're not going to get that from me. You're going to get it from either factual sources. Hold on one second. Okay. Just thought you were going to come home. Sorry, guys. Just talking to my daughter. Picking the kids up, right? Doing my rounds like, parent has to, right? It's supposed to. So I'm not going to do that because I think it just kind of takes away from the integrity of my responsibility and my persona as a person and my character of giving the false information and just looking dumb at the end of the day. I don't like being wrong. And that's part of the reason why I like to challenge a lot of people. Especially when I know they're saying something that's not true and that is wrong, so that I can prove that they're wrong. That's why I do that. Because I've never done that. And people try to say that I say false and spread false information when I've never done that. So, that's why I challenge people when I know they are saying something wrong. And then, it brings me a lot of hate. People don't like me, but I live my life, you live yours. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't lose sleep over that. So, to continue on, we also, get the freedom on Xbox also, to have a lot more, like I said, a lot more options and things given to us like Game Pass with actual exclusives in day one, with an actual dedicated server for the games, with the preview program to get the games at a very cheap price while helping the developers create the final game. Things like, EA Access, that we get to get games 2 or 3 days earlier, or we get to play them, 10, 4, 15 hours of the game before everybody else. And you get discounts on top of that if you want to buy it through the digital marketplace. So, you get a lot of benefits on Xbox, a lot of benefits that, because we're so spoiled as an Xbox community, we don't talk about them. And if we do, we just talk about them and then point our fingers to what's not being done. Instead of just being like, well, maybe this is a different situation with a one-off that, they're looking into fixing, or they'll get, maybe there's a legitimate reasoning behind it. Just like the YouTube streaming, YouTube could have been put that in an update on Xbox. But because YouTube is basically the competitor with Xbox through Google, I guess, because they're owned by Google, if I'm not mistaken, right? You know that that basically they haven't done it, but it's on PlayStation, and it's not because the console can't handle it, because we know there's a superior hardware on Xbox, period, and regular Xbox, the S, is on the same, on the same level as even the X and the Slim and the Pro, because they even got the 1440p implementation to support that through resolution with the games on the S, which is basically 2K. It's basically what 90% of PlayStation games are giving you with their Pro, because either it's 1440 or 1800p. That's their highest mark. And if it goes to 2160 or close to it, it's really low res or low res textures, or like problems with the frame rate or whatever. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just trying to give you guys an example. So for me, when someone says, well, you don't need the paywall for the party chat, that's why I said I get it, but it's also with a restriction. You may not pay for it, but you have to go out and get expensive or officially licensed headphone. You can't have the freedom to use whatever you have and it work correctly, or with a better sound. Plus, you're only limited to 8 people anyway, regardless whether you pay or don't, or have plus or not. Then it's not like they improve it when you get plus. You know what I mean? It's still the same crap. Also, with that also being said, in the same token, when they say, well, you could play the free-to-play games, yeah, but that has to do also with the actual developers that okayed it and said, well, we'll let it be in the network for free. Like I said, from the guys from Warframe and the guys from now Fortnite, which they both are on PlayStation but not on Xbox. Which, if they don't make any money out of it, Microsoft, right, at all, and it doesn't matter to them, I don't get why wouldn't it be free. That's why I said there's got to be something more to it than what meets the eye, than what we think, or what it may look like, right? Now, so that's my thought with the Fortnite. I think that it's unfortunate. I think that if it can be free, because there's no win-win on both sides, whether on both ends, meaning from Microsoft and Epic, then yeah, they should, because everybody else is getting it free, and that's not really a fair thing. The same way I think that if they have party chat system on Xbox, they should give you, like they did with 360, the freedom of doing at least a one-on-one private chat, or with at least 2 to 3 people, and that's it, where you can talk and you can play or talk on a chat, but not really do anything else, like play online or whatever while you're in the chat. Like, give it some limitations, but at least give you something so it doesn't feel like you don't have anything when you don't have gold, right? And plus now also, they're giving us the liberty and freedom of getting the consoles through like a layaway system, right? Where you get it as a credit with no APR, with an insurance included, all kinds of nice stuff for a decent price of either $25 or $35 monthly, depending which console you want, whether it's the S or the X. So I think everything that Microsoft does for us really supersedes anything else that looks negative, because it's really small, like the free-to-play, or like the inability to be in a party chat without gold. Which, who's to say they'll never do it anyway, because they probably can, because they've done it with other things in the past. But we also got to remember, we have Skype. You can use Skype free on Xbox One, and you can speak to someone free through Skype. And it's not hard. You can actually video talk as well, not just talk. So it's a form of communication, to be honest with you. It's not like you can't. You could do up to 4 people, I believe. Because I've done it with Jay, I've done it with Chief, I've done it with Sega Forever, I've done it with a bunch of people. So that's my thought about the whole Fortnite situation. And I'm not here to change you guys to make you try to convince you that it's okay. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to tell you to hear me out. And once you hear me out, you see what I'm trying to come from and see what you think. And let me know what you feel. If you agree with me, if you don't, it's okay. It's good conversation, I think. So as far as this rumor, I don't really like to do these with the PlayStation name change for your gamer tag. It sounds crazy, because to be honest, if you're going to lose all your saves, and you're going to lose your achievements or trophies or things of that nature, it's better off you just create another account. And that's it. And start from scratch anyway. Because what's the point of changing it if you're losing all you're doing by just staying with the old one? Who cares then? Then stay with your old dumb name and live with it. It's not the end all be all. It's not a big deal. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, Microsoft lets you do it, but they let you do it for like, I think 3 chances for free first. And then after that, you don't get any free chances anymore. You gotta actually, pay for it. I think it's $10 every time you change it, believe it or not. It's pretty pricey. It's not cheap. That's something I think they overcharge that Microsoft shouldn't do because it's pricey. And people do it all the time. I have friends that done it. Every month they change their name. It's crazy. And it'd be like $10 a pop. Like, what? You're nuts. So if this is true, this is really messed up. And it's not fair to the fans of the PlayStation community. With me, I don't care. I don't care what name I have. It really doesn't bother me. That doesn't represent who I am. I could say dick face and it won't matter to me. I can care less. But that's just me. A lot of people are bothered by that. It is what it is. I guess it's just the freedom or having the feeling of the freedom of being able to do it and change it. I guess that's what makes it cool. And I understand that. I dig it. I really can understand where people come from with that. And, so I can't speak for everybody, obviously. But if it happens to be true, it just shows you how far back Sony really is in this social gaming thing. They still don't have dedicated servers for their online. You can only change your name if you lose everything. You can't save your games unless it's under a paywall. They don't want to cross-play, even though people paid their hard-earned money to establish their characters and buy all these, microtransaction type things that you get, whether it's guns, skins, but they can't bring it with them. Wow, how you sound. They're so far behind not having a 4K player in their console, for Christ's sakes, even though they're part of the PlayStation, part of the Blu-ray 4K committee themselves. Not giving you backwards compat, not having an actual Elite controller made by them. Scuff is the one that makes one of their Elite controllers right now. And as we all know, Microsoft owns 57 patents of Scuff. So they're paying Microsoft money anytime you buy one of those controllers as well. Not having a safe and secure second step authentication ecosystem on their online infrastructure for protection and security. That's why it's always constantly going down for maintenance. Things like, even Street Fighter, that it's a game that you bought for $60, but all the DLC you bought after that, you can't access it online. Even though it should have been given, even though it was given free, but it made it seem like it's part of the game. It was just put in later because it wasn't ready. But you can't access it unless you have PlayStation Plus as well, which a lot of people won't bring out either. And that was, shout out to K Mega, he brought that up the other day. And I was like, really? Like, wow, I didn't even know that. That's something else that I didn't even know. So I hope that's not the case and it's just a rumor, because I know a lot of good friends and a lot of good people that literally, really and genuinely love spending money on PlayStation because they enjoy it and it's their favorite platform. And it's hard-earned money, obviously, nonetheless, regardless of whether I prefer it as my preferred platform or not. I spend good money on it as well, so they shouldn't have that type of option or ultimatum, if you will, given to them just to change a name. Their engineering over there must be really, really so far behind, or just don't get it, or can't understand programming through software and online ecosystems and things like that, because it just doesn't make no sense to me. It really doesn't. So I hope it's not the case. So I mean, it sucks, you know. But if it's true, let's see if the PlayStation fan base, the hardcores, right, actually come out and say something and be like, listen, you know, why? Don't do this. And speak their voice and let themselves be heard, because that's the only way that they'll be able to be taken more serious. And maybe the only way Sony will finally do things the right way and not half-ass, unless it really is that they're limited and they can't do it at all because of the console, the way it's built and constructed, or because they just don't have the engineers, the know-how, or the say, you know, and how to do it. And that's different, you know. It is what it is. You can't make a horse jump if he broke his leg. You know, you would have to take him down. You know, and I know it's not a great analogy, but I'm just trying to, you know, give you an idea. So please don't judge me or try to troll me with hate in the comments. Whoever sees it later. So yeah. I hope you guys understand where I came from. I hope you guys like the video. Big shout outs to everybody in the community. From, you know, Big Kahuna to Showstopper, welcome back. You know, Ghost Rider, welcome back. Sir Merkham, you know, Black Spartan, and Master Chief, and Tuck Master, E-Rock, Forever Sega Man, my main man. We got to get together soon and do some cool retro playbacks, you know, and you know, obviously my friends and my family all across the pond in the UK with the Micro Box of X from the Micropod podcast with the Shermanator and Dopoy and Andy, and, you know, obviously Microbox. They're over there actually over the weekend at EGX, I think it's called. It's a European Electronic Gaming Expo. Having a great time, showing some awesome pics. And that's great. That's fantastic. I'm so happy for them. I wish I was there with them. Cheers, guys. And, you know, obviously the big shout outs to the DirectX Gaming. No, actually Direct Gaming with my boy New Legal, Dorian Bumpus. And the big shout outs to my family at the Infinite Rooms of the DX Mansion with my boy Andre Federico, Ricardo Vasquez, Chris Dove, and many, many more. You know who you are. And last but certainly not least, my boys at the DirectX, now known as Hotline, with Kaleidoscope, Ghost Rider, Mr. 100, J Long Night Away. And stay tuned.